Hello and welcome to Primetime Pastimes, a podcast where we talk to people in the wrestling space about their passion outside of wrestling. I'm one of your hosts, Steve. Along with me, as always, our other host, Gav. Say hello, Gav.
Hello, you all right?
Our guest today, someone who has definitely danced with the devil by the pale moonlight, Mr. Vengeance, a significant member of the UK's own Justice League, Mr. Scott Graham Bell. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, thank you, man. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
My absolute pleasure. Before we talk about our topic today, we are going to talk a little bit about wrestling. We've only got 10 minutes on this subject, so I'll ask the basic questions of what is it you do in wrestling? How did you get into wrestling? What are your influences? And let's just see how we get on.
Yep, no worries.
Go for it. There you go. That's the question, sir.
Basically, I'm a referee. I've been a referee for over 7 years now on the UK scene. I got my start with training with NGW in Hull. My first show and match with BWI in Grimsby. And what was the third question? Influences?
What was your first experiences with wrestling?
Okay.
How did you get into it? What was your influences? Just talk about your wrestling stuff.
First thing what sort of hooked me on wrestling was 2001's WWF. Like, for me, it was like WrestleMania 17 when it was on Channel 4. You know, you had that, the match obviously with Triple H and Undertaker, which was absolutely fantastic. But one what always sticks out to me was a hardcore triple threat with Kane, Big Show, and Raven. One of my favourite WrestleMania matches of all time. And ever since 2001, I've just been hooked on it. I've sort of had a period like between like maybe 09 and 10 where I didn't watch it as much. And then sort of weirdly when I sort of became a referee, I watched less wrestling.
Yeah.
Because obviously I was in it every weekend. So you sort of not get sick of it, but you're like, oh,
yeah,
I'm living it. I don't really want to watch it. You know what I mean?
I 100% get you on that. It's interesting because a lot of people get into it during the Attitude Era, but this was really the last pay-per-view of the Attitude Era, in my opinion, WrestleMania 17. So obviously you've picked three people that are heavily Attitude Era influenced. Have you gone back and watched the Attitude Era stuff, or did you just sort of go into it from 2001 and just keep going?
Well, when I got into it in 2001, I actually went to Virgin Megastores, and that was the thing. And I bought my first wrestling VHS, which was the Best of Raw Volumes 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah.
So I sort of watched that, and I got bought the hardcore WWF video, which was going on about back then, which I was way too young to watch back then. But like that was a lot of the Attitude Era stuff in there, so that sort of got me more hooked on it. So it was something I wasn't used to seeing. Like obviously, you had all the blood. The hardcore match on the hardcore DVD on the hardcore video, just something you don't normally see, and that's what sort of hooked me onto it. Like basically, just
no, go on, you carry on. You carry on, go on. Fine.
Basically, just like the whole spectacle of it, just sort of captured me. Like the pyro, the lights, the show on the grand scale that it is. It's just one of the things what sort of gets you into it, I suppose.
No, I get it. And the reason I mention Attitude, or the reason I sort of delved a little bit more into the Attitude Era rather than going into Ruthless Aggression, which is obviously probably more your wheelhouse, is what you ultimately decided to do is you've gone into a lot of deathmatch stuff as your profession. So I wondered if that was perhaps the reason why, or if not, tell me why.
Not particularly. I mean, I've always been like a big fan of the hardcore stuff because it's different. And you won't find many referees around the country who enjoy doing deathmatch stuff, which I really enjoy doing it, which take it as you will. But like for me, it's a different art form. You've got your normal wrestling, you've got your high flying wrestling, and you've got your deathmatch wrestling. You know, it's a different way of conveying what we do to audiences, and it's basically like it's like film genres. You've got horror. Horror is deathmatch, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's just something I've always loved and admired, like what the guys and girls do in deathmatch, like putting their bodies on the line and putting themselves through that just to entertain us. So it brought a whole new sort of respect from me to them in that sort of sense, and it just sort of like I got hooked on it really, like the whole The whole blood, guts, gore side of it, and I really enjoy it.
No, that's absolutely fine. Don't yuck anyone's yum, is what I always say.
Yeah.
So obviously, you're a high-profile referee. You've worked for some very, very high-profile companies. I'm going to ask you the question that you've probably been asked a billion times: why a referee? Why not an in-ring performer?
So I did originally train to be a wrestler. I trained to wrestle for 2 years, and then I started in 2017, and then it came to 2019, and I thought, well, it might be 2018. Towards the end of 2018, I sort of decided I want to give refereing a go, because I started watching referees more than I did the actual wrestlers at some point, and it was more noticed like people like Charles Robinson, just the way he reacts to stuff. Like, it's not too over the top, but it makes you believe more in what's going on in the ring. Like, I always say, reaction equals emotion. There's a fine line with it, but if you are emoting and sort of reacting well and to what the guys and girls do in the ring, then in my opinion, like, the crowd should care as well. If you aren't reacting at all, then why should the crowd care? You want these guys and girls are busting their asses in the ring for you, and you're not emoting whatsoever. You just stood there like stone face and not even giving a care in the world.
You're
like,
killing it.
What is the point? Exactly, you're killing it. You're killing it. They're trying to get up here, and you're just, for me, an emotion, reactions from a referee sort of help build that emotion throughout the match, and helps throughout the match. So, like, if you're not reacting and doing what you should be doing, like, why should everyone else give a shit, basically?
Yeah, no, absolutely fine. And you've always been very eloquent at conveying that message via social media. I've been lucky enough to be in the room when you've conveyed this to me and other referees as well. And you're also starting a new thing at the moment where you are passing that on to others. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've always enjoyed doing. It's something I've always wanted to do. I mean, I did a seminar, you about yourself. I really enjoyed doing that seminar with all the guys and girls who came to that. And it's something I've always wanted to think, like, if I'm slowing down with refereeing at some point, I'd want to go into that. I'd always say, if I can leave the scene better than when I found it, referee-wise, I've done my job correctly. And that's what I want to do before I do eventually retire. So I don't think I've got many more years left in me, but we shall see.
We shall see. And tell us when you do this training.
I hold referee training alongside Rogan, Rogan's advanced sessions at the BWR Evo Academy, which is based in Grimsby, every Wednesday night from 7 till 10.
Excellent. Let's end it on that bombshell. I just like to say that you're a hell of a teacher, Scott, and I wish you all the best with that. Right. So now let's talk about a deep dive topic. So deep, we've actually gone through the catacombs under Wayne Manor. Yes, we are talking about Batman in the movies today. Before we go into it any further and talk about your feelings, some people just want to watch the world learn, and that is me. So I'm going to provide just a few facts about the Batman films. So the Batman film, the first Batman film that a lot of people think of is Batman 89. This wasn't the first one. Neither, in fact, was Batman 66. It actually started off as a wartime serial in 1943 in the cinemas. So that's a little nugget of information for you. Speaking of, what's funny about the old wartime serial, which we'll come into a little bit later, is it actually gave us quite a few standards that we now see in the Batman comics that didn't exist prior to those wartime propagandas. That's a little snippet of what's to come later on. So Michael Keaton's Batman suit was actually so heavy and restrictive, it generated up to 100 degrees heat, and as such, he lost 15 pounds worth of water weight during that first film. Batman 89 was filmed in a way that The actual time frame is left a little bit ambiguous, but if you actually look at the newspapers, it does say that the events occur in 1947. Arnold Schwarzenegger was paid $25 million to star in Batman and Robin as Mr. Freeze, and made an incredible 27 puns during that film. That's almost $1 million a pun.
Almost as many as you.
Almost as many as me in this episode. Heath Ledger spent 6 weeks isolated in a hotel room to prepare for his part as the Joker, and stayed in character almost the entire filming schedule for the Dark Knight. Kevin Conroy is the actor who has played Batman in more films than anyone else. He's played it in 11 animated films. Christian Bale and Liam Neeson risked their lives when filming the thawing ice lake scene in Batman Begins. The lake actually melted the day after filming stopped on that. The mayor of Batman in Turkey took the producers of the Dark Knight trilogy to court for use of the name, but the case was dismissed. So that's enough fact. Let's now explore our feelings.
I have one fact from me.
Throw it at us.
Right. What is Wolverine?
Are you going to say 2 Batmen kissing? Is that what you're going to say? Oh, Lord.
My fact. Wolverine is based on 2 Batmans kissing.
I'm not sure that's true, but let's
Look
just
it up.
go with
Look it up.
Look, yeah. Do your own research, guys. So obviously, we talked about your first experiences, Scott, with refereeing and wrestling. What's the first time you saw Batman? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do. So I sort of got brought up on the 1966 TV show, which used to be on I can't think what channel it used to be on years and years and years ago. But me and my dad used to watch it. And then I got bought Batman 89 on VHS from Virgin Megastores yet again. Which I was probably way too young to watch it at the time. But I was so hooked on Batman from the 66 TV show. I got this and I thought, it's going to be similar. So when I watched it, and it's something completely different, and it just completely changed my world.
For the better?
Oh God, yeah. Just fell in love with Tim Burton and the way he portrayed it, because obviously the 66 series is obviously super campy, and there's not that dark edge to Batman like you see in the comics. And it's just something completely different on the take of it, and it just hooked me from the get-go.
So now you've gone on to Batman 89 at this stage. Could you now go back to 66? Do you still like it?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a soft spot for the film they did, which, a fact for anyone who doesn't know, the film was actually filmed before the series. Strangely enough. I think they filmed the film as a sort of pilot, but then ended up doing the series, and the film got released later, if I'm correct.
I'm not entirely sure, but I'll take your word from that, because I do love
so anyway.
No, I'll take it as gospel. I love a bit of Batman 96. 66. Do apologise. I think one of my favourite scenes in any of the Batman sort of universe is where Batman and Robin go into the club, and the guy says to him, "Do you want a seat by the dance floor, Batman?" And he says, "No, we want to be a little bit less inconspicuous, and we want to." I just thought that was so funny.
But the film,
so funny.
The film, it's got some of the greatest scenes. The scene where he's running around with a bomb, and he's just like, "Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb."
And you've got the shark repellent. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's like Robin, hand me the bat repellent shark spray. And it's brilliant.
It's so good. I think it holds up better now than it did back in the day, because it is so niche and campy. I just think it's so great.
Yeah,
Gav, you got any feelings on Batman 66?
No, I did see some of it. It when I was little, it was like Batfink sort of the cartoon. It had that kind of feel.
Oh, Batfink was great.
The animated kind of English version. Was it English?
I'm actually not sure. I mean, it was a bat doing a transatlantic style accent. So perhaps, but yeah, your bullets cannot harm me. My wings are like a shield of steel. Yeah, that's all I remember from that.
Kind of. I used to watch it. The Joker used to freak me out though. Okay. For some reason, the Joker used to freak me out in the early one. a lot more than he does in the later ones.
No, that's fair enough. Well, people have got a fear of clowns, haven't they? Some people.
Yeah.
So,
and he refused to shave his tash off of that as well, the Cesar Romero.
I think that's
so
what
good
got
as
me. It's the facial hair with the makeup on it.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
Strange, isn't it? Like,
hold on, I'm just making a note next time I see Gav to wear makeup, but not shave. I love the Cesar Romero portrayal as well. Yeah, I can't say enough positive things about Batman 66.
I think it was just cast so well. Like, you had Burgess Meredith as the Penguin, which was perfect. You had Frank Gorshin as the Riddler. Obviously, you had
a good Riddler.
Julie Newmar and Eartha Kitt as Catwoman over time. And it was just so well done. And you had literally all the characters from the back catalogue. You know, it was.
We didn't have Two-Face, did we? Which always bothered me.
Didn't have Two-Face, but we had like people like there was a Condiment King in there at one point, and like the Clock King and
the Clock King definitely. I don't know about the Condiment King. We had King Tut. We had King Tut. Holiday, I think, was in it at some point. The Mad Hatter and all that jazz.
Yeah,
I loved it. It was so good. So you mentioned the two Catwomen, Eartha Kitt or Julie Newmar. Which do you think?
Julie Newmar.
Who was better?
Julie Newmar. Right. Like, she just embodied like what I saw like Catwoman. I think I saw maybe Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman before, maybe seeing some of Julie Newmar or more of Julie Newmar, but she just played it perfectly. Like, for me, Eartha Kitt was just too over the top with it, which sounds stupid considering like what Batman 66 was all about. It was way over the top.
Nothing sounds stupid on this podcast, sir. We love it.
But because obviously Julie Newmar played it in the film, I believe, the 66 film, I sort of like, she was like my Catwoman of that era.
Yeah, no, I get it. Me too. And when I saw Eartha Kitt, it was kind of like a weird juxtaposition because she wasn't as active. She was more sexual in a way, even though she was like a mob boss rather than burglar that Newmar played. They were two very different takes on the character, and I love
very different.
Yeah. Whilst we're on the topic, put those two Catwomen in with the other Catwomen that we've seen. Which is your favourite portrayal of Catwoman in general?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah,
of course.
I did with that because I've seen your tattoo.
Yeah, I absolutely love her portrayal of Catwoman. I do think it's a bit weird that she gets eaten by cats and then turns into Catwoman. But you sort of forget about that.
Does she get eaten by cats, or is she just like?
Well, she gets chewed, doesn't she?
She gets chewed, and then like she ends up waking up and turning all weird, doesn't she? I don't see how that's changed her in a way to become as she is. But
try and not think about it, Scott. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
to you. The
more you think about these things, the more just ruin it a bit for me.
I said on a recent version of this podcast that DC tend to have characters which are more godlike, whereas you tend to know the actual characteristics of people from Marvel more. Like when you say Spider-Man, you'll think of stuff like, oh yeah, he's a struggling person and he's a student, he's always got bad luck. Whereas if you think about Superman, you talk about his powers first. But I think Batman's the one exception to this. I think Batman, you do think about his characteristics, about the fact that he's lost his parents and everything. Yeah, I think by far Batman is the strongest of the DC slate of characters, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the darkest they've ever done, isn't it? If you want some serious stuff in your comics, you go to Batman, really.
Yeah, 100%. And he's more human as well. He's just a billionaire, so you sort of relate to him more, don't you?
Yep, so I'm a billionaire.
I can't. I can't relate to that, man. Yeah, no, 100%. So obviously we talked about the Catwoman of it all. There's a lot of Batmen in film. What is the one film series that you gravitate to more than the others, and why?
It has to be Keaton. That's what I sort of, after watching 89, like he was my Batman. And I just fell in love with like the films in general, as like the Tim Burton films. Like the Tim Burton films are always my go-to. My favorite Batman film of all time is Batman Returns, and it's a Christmas film as well, so I watch it every Christmas.
Yeah, me too.
And it just the way Keaton plays it, like it's just so so well done. I think Christian Bale did a great job. I do quite like Affleck's.
I did too.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was more of a gritty version of Batman, which I enjoyed. But I really, really enjoyed Robert Pattinson's version. Like, it was a completely different side to Batman, what we're seeing. It's more of the actual detective side of Batman rather than a superhero, which I really enjoyed.
Yes. I love the bullet scene. I thought, it's great.
When Keaton obviously got cast, they were actually having not riots, but like,
it was a hell of a backlash.
They didn't want Keaton. All the fans were like, nope.
Yeah,
and if we had internet back then, it would have been. There's a chance he wouldn't have even been in it. I think
he'd done. Is it a film called Mr. Mum or something before that?
Yeah, that's right.
They literally
thought comedic.
They literally thought, who's this comedian doing Batman? He ain't going to do it justice. The same thing happened with Heath Ledger. And look at
exactly that.
It's just.
Hugh Jackman's had it. A lot of them have had it, but they've all pulled it off really, really well.
It did seem particularly weird for Michael Keaton, because he also did Johnny Dangerously. Have you ever seen that?
No, I don't think I've. No.
So bizarre. He's like it's set in the 40s and 50s. He's like a gangster, but it's all very tongue in cheek. It's I'm not saying it's bad, but it's a weird one. So when he was announced as being Batman, I can absolutely see people, and I do remember it to an extent. I can see people going, "This guy isn't right."
So was it the year before he did Beetlejuice? Was Beetlejuice 88?
I think it was. I think it was the year before.
Yeah.
I don't think it had come out when he was cast. I think that's the key difference.
Yeah.
But Mr. Mom and Johnny Dangerously was the main sort of issues. They had a lot of weird casting things with that film, though. Do you know who else was up for the Joker part?
I've heard, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I know, like, her who plays Lois Einhorn in Ace Ventura was meant to be playing Vicky Vale.
She was playing Vicky Vale, and then she tried to come back for Catwoman, and then everyone was like, "Oh, what's going on?"
She fell off a horse, didn't she, in Batman '89, and broke her collarbone, so she had to be out of that. And then she tried to come back for Catwoman, dressed up as Catwoman for the audition, and scared the shit out of Michael Keaton and the casting director. And then Annette Bening was meant to be cast as Catwoman.
So she was cast as Catwoman, but then she had to pull out.
And then she fell pregnant, so she couldn't fulfill it. So obviously we got Michelle Pfeiffer in the end, which was
and honestly great choice. And I love the use of the whip with Michelle Pfeiffer, because not for weird reasons, but because it's like the cat's tail, and I love that. And
that scene in Shrek's department store where she whips her head off. Did it in one take.
Yes.
Like, I mean,
she trained herself up for that.
I know we're going to like my merch later on, but there we go.
Brilliant.
My little neck.
I love that. I love that. I bet that set you back quite a bit.
Oh, you don't want to know.
No, I don't. Are we talking 300 quid?
Oh, I think a bit less than that. But I've got all the characters from Return, so that's you're probably looking close to 300 quid for all three of them.
Okay.
Not as much as my Hot Toys Val Kilmer, which was like
that's
a lot.
Money.
I'm thinking of Hot Toys that are the expensive ones. Yeah.
Well, I got my daughter she's mad on the Joker, absolutely crazy on. So I got her the premium format statue.
Yeah.
A few Christmases ago, and they're like 800 quid now.
Yeah. They are beautiful, but like they're a lot of money.
It had a little break on a piece of the scenery of it, which I could fix. I got it for 150 quid.
Oh, steal!
So just like yes,
yeah.
I can't spend that much money on anything that's just going to sit there. I just can't. I keep thinking I'm going to buy the Lego the news building, Daily Bulletin, Daily Bugle from Spider-Man, and I just can't do it. It's just too much. We'll go on to the actual collection in a minute, but just to change the pace and talk about what we were just talking about. The people that originally auditioned for the Joker, we had obviously Robin Williams, who would later audition for the Riddler. We had what's his name? Tim Curry.
Oh gosh,
that would have been good.
Yeah. But the top choice was apparently Willem Dafoe.
I was just going to say Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, he would obviously become Willem Friend when they did the Aquaman film. But yeah, he would have been absolutely fantastic.
I've always wanted to see Willem Dafoe as a Joker. I think he'd be perfect for it. He's got the face shape already.
Yeah,
he has. Yeah, Max Schreck, who did the old silent films, doing that clown, he just looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Right, let's talk about your collection because we've already brought it up. I don't want to skim past it. So before you actually go into the collection, let's just get a bit of context. What does your partner think of all this?
Not a fan at all. No.
Is it in the front room or is it in the bedroom?
Well, it's all up in the loft at the moment because I just moved house. But I did have a room dedicated to all of it.
Would you say a cave?
It was exactly my back cave, my man cave. It was my nerd room. So I literally had it all on the walls, like all my cards figures on the wall, everything on display. Now it's sort of up in the loft.
Yeah, no, I get it. So yeah, so talk about the select pieces that you brought down to show us today, but actually talk about them because some people might not be watching.
Yeah. So I'll start with my neck. I mean, this is just a fraction of what I've got.
Oh, well, I know.
I've got so many pop figures, corgi figures, you name it, up in the loft. So we've already seen Miss Pfeiffer. She comes with a removable head.
Has she got the rips in the outfit as well? That's great.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I love it when she's looking a bit battered.
And then I've got the mayoral penguin.
That looks really good, actually.
Pretty cool. The detail on it is absolutely sick. Once I saw like NECA did them, I had to have them. And then I've got obviously the main man himself, Keaton.
Oh, that cape is fabulous.
It's amazing. Like it proper spans out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that cost me a pretty penny. And then I've got my replica Batarang.
I saw you playing with that earlier. Yeah.
From 89. And to do what? It is super sharp on the edges, which isn't ideal, but it folds up so I can take it out with me if I need to.
I feel like you're a step away from fighting crime.
Oh, no. I've even got a grapnel gun as well upstairs. So when I was younger, I collected the Batman and Robin, was it Kenner figures?
I remember those.
So when I became a young man, I decided to recollect them and rebuy them, which is an expensive job as well. So I've got the card. They're all cards as well, which is
that's great.
Buy. So I've got Batgirl there. I've got loads of these on more upstairs as well. So
we can believe it.
A lot of collections. So I've got Robin and Poison Ivy in a 2-pack.
Oh, that's great. I like it's a metallic look for Robin, is it?
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah, I love that.
And then I've got Mr. Freeze, but for some reason it's not like the Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze.
Oh, that has to be a rights issue. That has to.
Yeah. I mean, they did make another figure of him down the line, which looked more like Arnold Schwarzenegger in like a proper costume. And then I've got Frostbite, which is one of his Goonies.
I remember.
And then I've got Brain versus Brawn, which is the silver Batman.
Excellent.
With Bane.
Yeah.
So basically, I've got the majority of all these figures which are in the line, as well as it's a bit battered, but I got gifted this again from Nathan Cruz.
Yes.
Name drop Batmobile in the box, which is sick. I used to have that as a kid, as well as like the Bat Hammer and all that stuff.
I think I remember the Bat Hammer. What was the Bat Hammer you used?
The Bat Hammer, towards the end of a film where it's Batman's vehicle, where it's like the one on ice.
Yeah.
Like the wings at the side. We brought a version of that, and that was class. I had that as a kid.
That was called the Bat Hammer, was it?
Bat Hammer, yeah. Weirdly.
What an odd name.
I know.
I don't remember him holding a hammer.
I've got the Batman and Robin 1,000 puzzle piece.
Oh, fantastic.
Which I've not yet completed. And then I found this on eBay when I was randomly looking. Batman and Robin Monopoly,
Right.
which was a very random one. I'm not sure how rare it is or if there's many about, but it's pretty.
I seem to remember seeing that in Forbidden Planet.
Yeah.
Probably early 2000s. So I take from that what you will.
Yeah, because it was made when the film came out.
Yeah,
back in '97, so it's quite old. And then I found this old chestnut as well at my friend. He wrestled under the name of JD Boom years ago. He's now got a collectible store in Hull, and he had this in.
I had that.
Yeah, I had that as well.
I had that. Yeah.
So I've got that. I've got the Batman Forever pop-up game as well, which was pretty sick.
Oh, you've just sent me down memory lane talking about the Ace Chemical.
You know the Batman 89 cards. Did you collect them? They were the first proper trading cards I ever got.
Gav, I will get to them in a minute. Don't you worry. So yeah, I've got my Batman Forever Val Kilmer Hot Toys.
Oh, show it to me.
Let me just slide him out.
I'd like to apologise for how sexual that sounded.
That sounded very sexual.
A little bit. They are crazy good, but they're so expensive.
Super expensive, but the detail on them is insane, and the amount of accessories you get as well. I mean, there it is.
Oh wow, that is incredible.
The detail on it is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
the on the actual suit as well, and you get a stamp for it.
I was going to buy the Crow one, but the pleather put me off because apparently it flakes and peels.
I've heard this.
Yeah,
I've heard that.
Go on, Steve.
No, I was going to say if I've heard that with the hot toys, if you buy some of them, especially if they've got a material on the arms, they'll bend and warp out of shape. If you put them one direction, they're fine, but then if you try and move them back, they're just all disjointed.
Yeah, I found that the actual Gav was saying the actual material the suit's made out of it is really really bendy. It's not really much substance to it. I much prefer the NECA because of the hard plastic. I've got a lot of NECA Crow stuff as well. Gav mentioned Crow Ben, and I much prefer the NECA stuff to the Hot Toy stuff, and it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, a lot cheaper.
When anyone wants to collect it, and then so I've got the original.
Oh,
Batman
they're great.
89 trading cards collection.
Yeah. That was my first ever sort of serious trading card.
Yeah.
I was 10 when it came out, and literally, I think they came out about a year before the film. And because we were waiting for the film, we just bought them all.
Yeah. I've also got the Batman Forever trading card collection.
Oh, yeah, great.
They're quite sick. And then at the back of this one, or I might back of the other one, I've got Batman Returns as well. So
it's funny because I didn't think that I had any of these trading cards, but you showing me them now, I've just remembered. I definitely had 89, and I definitely had Returns.
But I don't have Batman and Robin ones, which that's up next on my list to get. I don't know if they did any. They probably did.
Yeah, they probably will have done.
Because for literally the merchandise for Batman and Robin was insane. You had Mars bars and everything. What was Batman and Robin orientated and stuff like that. It was just everywhere, wasn't it? Back in everywhere.
Well, it was sort of made for the toy industry, wasn't it? That's it's not a secret.
They became a toy thing in the end.
Yeah.
Well, they actually said when he was Joel Schumacher, when he was yelling go and cut, he would always shout just beforehand, remember everyone, this is a cartoon, and he'd also keep using the word toyetic on set. Right. So they very, very much wanted to make this into a toy.
There's an interview with Chris O'Donnell. He said that Forever felt like he was making a movie, and Batman and Robin felt like he was making a toy commercial.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, that's the whole reason why they remade the Batmobile for more toys as well, from Forever to Batman and Robin. It's more toys.
That's also why in Forever and in Batman and Robin, everyone goes through a outfit change at the end. Again, you had multiple.
Which I have to say, Batman and Robin, the bat suit at the end is one of my favourite suits. Weirdly,
good suit.
I really enjoy that suit.
I'm gonna ask you the question everyone wants the answer to. What do you think about nipples on the back suit?
I don't think they're needed.
No.
It were very sexualized back in like the late night, like Forever film and Batman Robin. I think that was just a Joe Schumacher thing. He liked to sexualize a lot of things, like going. It's like obviously he didn't need the shots of like the nipples and the backsides, and it just didn't need it whatsoever. But yeah, we were all like, back then you just didn't really think about it, did you, that much until you watch it back now.
I was thinking about it quite a lot at the time. For positive and negative reasons. Do you know about the incident with Alicia Silverstone, which put her out of acting for a while?
Which incident is that? I know she was getting a lot of flack for getting called up away and stuff, wasn't she? Which sort of like,
yeah, that's it.
But is that it? Yeah.
Yeah. So to fill in the blanks a little bit there, yeah, she put on a little bit of weight because again she was a kid back then. She got fame quite prominently for being in all the Aerosmith music videos, and then she was thrown in and she did Clueless, which was great, and The Babysitter, which was also great. But yeah, when she was at the height of her stardom, she was obviously cast as Batgirl. She put on weight during filming as well, so they had to redo the suit. And someone, I think it was a producer, I'm not entirely sure, had done a drawing of her, which was not very flattering.
Yeah,
and that kind of pushed her out of Hollywood for a long time. We're only really recently seeing her come back, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. That I watched that. There's a Legends on Earth or something on Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah, I've seen a bit of that. Yeah,
a whole Batman series of it, and it obviously chronicles everything what went on. It's really interesting, and it mentions that, and it just wasn't needed whatsoever at the time. Like she's I think she's just done Clueless at the time, or just going into Clueless.
She'd just done Clueless.
So she was quite a hot commodity at the time, wasn't she?
Oh so,
yeah. Just not needed whatsoever when you're going.
But she was a Hollywood it girl for a couple of years before when she was sort of 15ish. Because I think she was 15 or 16 when she was in the Aerosmith videos. She was one of the youngest people on the set for Clueless, like Donald Faison and the girl that plays his girlfriend. They were in their 30s when that was filmed, and she's like sort of 16, 17, kissing Paul Rudd, who looks exactly the same age. It was stressful, and it's a real shame what happened to her.
Yeah, definitely. It's something you don't need in that sort of industry. When you're trying to do your best and you get showered with all that, it's not great at all, is it?
Definitely not. So we are very anti-nipple and very anti-bullying, which are two good places to come from. So obviously we talked about Batman Returns being your favourite Batman film. I want to get your opinion on this. Do you consider Batman Forever and Batman and Robin to be sequels to the Burton films? Because they are very different.
No, I feel like they're in their own world. Like, I feel like Forever is a sequel to Batman Robin, and obviously Return is a sequel to Batman. So obviously you've got the whole different. I love the look of Gotham in the Schmuacher films. It was so larger than life. But like for me, they aren't a sequel, but they're their own sort of thing with completely different vibes. Like Burton's a lot darker, as we all know, and Schumacher sort of brought a different light to it, which I really enjoyed Forever. I really did and still do enjoy Forever. And I think it brought back a bit of nostalgia from the 66 Batman in a way, the way it was sort of campy in a way, and then it sort of got ramped up to 100 by the time Batman Robin came around, the whole back credit card and all that shit.
Yeah. It was just a bit too much, wasn't it? It was just a bit too far in that direction.
Jim Carrey stole that film for me, though.
100%.
He was perfectly casted.
He made that film. Like, it was more of a Jim Carrey film than it was a Val Kilmer film or a Tommy Lee Jones film, in my opinion.
100% agree with you. I think Tommy Lee Jones, he was making some weird choices in that film. Two-Face isn't a cackler. He's a methodical. It felt like he was trying to do a very poor impression of the Joker to me. I was like, I don't.
Yeah. Was it that, or do you reckon he was trying to sort of like live up to what Carey was doing, or try and outdo him in a way?
One-upsmanship, because they hated each other on set.
Yeah, because obviously we know that Carey and Tommy Lee Jones did not get on the set of
not at
Batman
all.
Forever. Like, to quote him, I think it was like, he can't stand Jim Carrey's buffoonery, I think was the quote.
I think, yeah. And anyone that says the word buffoonery in honestness, then you got to stay away from those people, because they're dangerous.
Yeah.
If you're using buffoonery in regular language, don't mess with me. So do you know why it went off in that more cartoony direction? Was because of the Happy Meal stuff?
Yeah, because obviously the Happy Meal Returns, they thought it was too dark for kids, so obviously they took it back a step, and we've got what we've got to do with Forever and Batman Robin, which is completely separate to obviously the dark stuff what was going in Batman Returns.
Well, they'd actually made the Happy Meal toys for Batman Returns and pulled them, because you've got a toxic waste spewing penguin feeling up a model and all that lot, and it's doesn't scream kids, and he also kills in that film.
It was well good.
What did you say, Gav? You thought that was well good?
Yeah.
Which part? The spewing of the toxic.
Everything.
Okay. Yeah, have a button. So, which is your favourite villain portrayal in all of the Batman films together? So you can only pick one. Who are you picking and why?
All of them together.
All of them together.
Wow. That's a tough one, Steve.
It is a tough one.
I'll have to go with Riddler, Jim Carrey. I mean,
okay,
it's not my favourite Batman film, but he, like Gav said, he absolutely stole that film.
Yeah.
And made it his own, and like he's so perfect for the character. I mean, I think Heath Ledger's Joker will be up there with it, but for me, Jim Carrey pips the post. But also, Danny DeVito as a Penguin was a perfect cast.
I agree.
Danny DeVito was mine. Penguin. So good.
Yeah. There's so many great castings in Batman films. Like, I don't think they've really got one wrong, aside from maybe Jared Leto.
I don't think he was that bad, I don't think he was that bad. They just played a different version of it. I'm not saying anything about the guy.
I preferred his version in the Justice League, Zack Snyder's version.
At the end.
I preferred that than the whole whatever went on it. Suicide Squad was a letdown for me. Like, they just tried to cram so much into an hour and a half film, and it didn't work whatsoever. For me,
I agree.
I didn't enjoy it.
They didn't build the characters. They didn't have chance.
No, exactly. I think for me, they got the villain wrong as well. I think the Joker should have been a main villain in that, and that would maybe helped later. But obviously, we had Cara Delevingne's character that been the main villain, and it just sort of fell flat because you didn't really care for it.
No, I agree. So one thing about the Joker's portrayal, the Jared Leto Joker, do you subscribe to the fan theory that he was a Robin that was beaten up and brainwashed?
I kind of go with that kind of aspect, because I remember the animated series had a similar Joker. Yeah. So that's where my head kind of goes with it.
I think it makes more sense.
Character.
Yeah, no, say it.
Because he's got the gold teeth as well, which makes sense if you've had your teeth punched out.
Yeah.
There's so many little fan kind of conspiracy theories in all the kind of the worlds that they build. It's quite fun. But yeah, I'd go with that. It makes it feel a bit better as well. But it's a different Joker.
Yeah.
I'm all for different portrayals of characters, different flavors, etc. I really like Paul Dano as the Riddler in the Batman. Really different to Jim Carrey, but so good. I think that film was just missing a better finale for me.
No, I agree. I think it was a bit of a letdown in a way, like the finale for it. Like, it had all this big build up with Paul Dano, and then it just sort of went in another direction, didn't it?
Yeah, very much so. It would have been good to see him versus Catwoman for some reason, or if there was stakes added to that, or even if they had. I'm not usually a fan of having two villains on a Batman film, but I think if you'd have had a second, like a villain like Bane or Killer Croc, who's just all muscle. I know Bane isn't all muscle in the comics. Don't come at me, nerds. I'm just talking about.
Oh, he is. He's a big dude in the comics.
No, but what I mean is he's very intelligent in the comics.
Oh,
we're not talking about comics, so just get out my DMs. So yeah, I felt like it needed like a secondary villain to be the muscle behind the Riddler. And if you're having people escape from Arkham, I don't see why you couldn't have had someone like that, or Victor Zsasz, or someone.
Definitely.
No,
so we've talked about the Bat Hammer, which is definitely something I knew existed before this conversation.
I generally was thinking of Thor hammer. Just
so was I. What's your favourite Bat vehicle and why?
Vehicle? Oh my god, the '89 Batmobile. I love the shape of it, the look of it. I've even got it tattooed on me. I've got the Batwing tattooed on me. I've got all sorts tattooed on me. I've even got penguins tattooed on me. That's how dedicated I am to this.
With still time.
See,
yeah, just there.
But yeah, the '89 Batmobile. But I also love the Batman Robin Batmobile. That was so different.
It's like a skeleton. It's like rib cage over the top of it.
Yeah, like it was the first one with like an open top as well, which is very different. So you could see Batman. Yeah, it was cool that you could actually see him in it. But yeah, I'd definitely go with '89 Batmobile, 100%.
That's my iconic vehicle. It's probably for me.
Batwing for me. I liked it. Stupid as it was, I liked when the Batwing went up to the moon and you saw the logo. I thought that was just the right level of camp for me in that film. I thought that was great.
That was added in as well.
Yes.
That's my documentary. That was pretty cool that we added it in. It was pretty sick to see that. To be fair, it was cool.
I need to watch this documentary because I've seen it advertised and I haven't got it.
We're all on Prime, Amazon Prime. They've got that, and I think they've got Spider-Man ones as well. There's more like Marvel ones as well.
That's all you had to tell me.
Boots on that one. But yeah, I've got a question for you guys. What's your favourite Batman animated film?
That's Mask of the Phantasm, no doubt.
Really?
Killing Joke. No doubt.
Well, that's sorry, Gav.
Killing Joke.
Okay. See, I've got a really niche one. Mine is Sub-Zero.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I think I might have seen that.
Yeah. I had it on video and I used to watch it all the time. And it's just, it was like one of the first like feature-length Batman animated films that I watched. And it was really cool because like we sort of incorporated like 3D effects in it, weirdly.
Yeah.
Sort of that time period where people like sort of toying with like 3D and cartoons and stuff. And there's a really cool scene where the Batwing like comes off the oil rig and it turns like a 3D model. And like,
I don't remember that, but it sounds cool. I remember the film. I thought it was very good, and I've always liked Mr. Freeze as a character. And I think he could be, if he was played sinister, he could be very, very good on film, especially with the Robert Pattinson. Back to me asking you questions, you silly goose. How do you feel about Pattinson's Batman not being the official Batman of the new continuity moving forwards? Because they're going to have their own Batman, aren't they? Which means you're going to have two Batman film series going on at the same time.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I think it's just going to confuse people.
It confuses me.
Yeah, like obviously we're doing like James Gunn's doing his Brave and the Bold, isn't he? A different Batman, and then you've got Pattinson, which is, I mean, it's a completely different take on it, which is going to be, I think Brave and the Bold is going to go back to more the 66 side of things, so it's been a bit on the camp side of things and a bit more child friendly. But it's a nice contrast, I suppose. But I think I'd be more gravitated towards the Matt Reeves ones because for Batman, he knocked out the park of that. Like
I thought it was great. I thought that the end was, if the end was better, it would have been top one or two Batman films.
It just made you sort of forget about it being a Batman film and more of like a detective film.
Yeah,
it felt really like Seven. In my opinion,
yeah, very much so.
Like it was not the fact that it was always raining Gotham, but like the fact that it was just like a proper serial killer vibe to it, which was really good. I really enjoyed that.
It's taken little bits from one of my favorite comic books, The Long Halloween, which I like it a lot for that reason, and also little bits of Hush in there as well. So I was a big fan of that film. So would you like to see in The Brave and the Bold a version of Robin, or do you think keep Robin out of it for a while?
I'd love to see Robin. I'd love to see Nightwing in something. I'd love to see him sort of build upon it and bring more characters into it because we like you said, we rarely see Robin. We haven't seen Robin since like Batman and Robin,
pretty much,
really, in anything. So it'd be good to bring Robin back into it. But like, I really want to see like, you know, a bit of Nightwing in there as well. Like a lot of maybe like Red Hood at some point.
Would you like to see him go full Teen Titans?
Yeah. Like I'd love to see it go that direction and bring more characters into it. Something we haven't really seen much before.
I'm all for, like I say, I'm all for seeing things, the different takes on characters. So, do you know about the Marlon Wayans Robin? And if so, tell us about it.
Yeah, so Marlon Wayans was originally cast as Robin for, was it Batman 89, and then got dropped out of it?
No, he was.
It Returns.
He was cast during Batman 89. He was cast in Returns.
Yeah,
but they dropped the story altogether, and he still gets royalties to this day for all the Batman films.
And he got paid for it as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. It's crazy.
So it's a win-win, really. I know he wasn't in it, but
no, he still gets paid royalties for that and Batman Forever as well, because he was on a 2-picture deal.
That's cool. Like,
that's so cool.
Like, I think it would have ruined Returns with Robin. I don't think Robin would have fit in the Burton verse.
I agree
as much. I think Chris O'Donnell was a perfect casting for Robin in Forever, and I think they did well to leave Robin out of the Burton films. I think it was probably more of a studio thing to try and get Robin in there.
I think I heard it was.
It just didn't need it.
It's going to be a mechanic as well, so it'd be like a weird take on Robin. So it wasn't. He wasn't going to be the Flying Graysons. He was just going to be a mechanic that worked on the Batmobile. And where they hijacked the Batmobile in the film, I think that was sort of taken from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you know who else they were going to try and cast as Robin when Chris O'Donnell was being looked at in Batman Forever?
No, I don't think so. No.
Just say Tom Cruise.
No, Leonardo DiCaprio is one of the main ones because he'd done a few films. He was in Critters 3, obviously, so you know that's a big budget. And also Matt Damon. What's weird about those two castings, Scott? Can you remember? Because I feel like you'll know this.
Oh God, you put me on the spot now.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. What's weird about those two castings? That they were also considered for Harvey Dent Two-Face in the Batman Dark Knight.
Really?
Yeah.
I would never in a million years have put them as maybe DiCaprio, but not Matt Damon.
Yeah, both of them. And Aaron Eckhart. If you think about it, there's a lot in common between Aaron Eckhart and especially like visually, they're very, very similar in that time in their careers. Sort of late 30s, early 40s, esteemed sort of guys that you can believe are going to be like, oh yeah, this is someone we can trust. So yeah, it's weird that they were up for two different Batman characters in two different franchises.
Yeah, I think Aaron Eckhart played it really well.
I agree. Yeah,
I do feel like it was sort of short lived. Like I feel like we should have seen more of it.
Well, we were going to initially. Do you know about this?
I think he was meant to be going into the next one, wasn't he? Into Dark Knight Rises, as well as Joker. Joker was meant to be a big part of Dark Knight Rises, and obviously I think happened with Heath Ledger. But yeah, just a shame that we didn't really get to see more going forward, because I think we could have done so much more of the character.
Absolutely. Yeah. Not a fact as such, but something I do want to sort of touch on. I don't know if, because I'm a visual guy. I studied film in uni. I love my film, and I love the opening bat symbols of the Dark Knight trilogy, and how they preempt what's going to happen in the rest. Can anyone remember how you see the actual Batman symbol in the opening of those three films?
So in Dark Knight, you see it through a blue smoke.
Yeah, you it's basically in the Dark Knight. It starts off that way, and then you see the bat signal burning. And for the Dark Knight, that is some people want to watch the world burn, so it's preempting that aspect of it. In the first Batman Begins, you see a flurry of bats that ultimately turn into the bat symbol for a split second and then jet off, and that's him having this fear and then controlling it to become something better than him. And then in the final one, it's the icy bat symbol, which then breaks, which signifies that he's going to break his back. So I love I love how preemptive that is.
That's like a Warner Brothers thing.
That's very much a Chris Nolan thing.
Because obviously, you've seen Harry Potter films, haven't you?
Yes.
The Warner Bros. Logo changes every single Harry Potter film.
Yeah, it goes darker. Goes more.
I don't know if that was like a Warner Bros. Thing as well. Maybe.
It's both absolutely fantastic visuals, and I love Harry Potter too. I'm not saying anything about J.K. Rowling, but I love the Harry Potter films too. Sinister. So I never do this, but I asked you to prep for something. So I asked you to come up with a very, very basic plot.
Yeah.
About Batman and who you'd cast in Batman. So take it away, Scott.
I haven't really thought much about a plot, but I thought about what characters I want to see in it.
Okay.
So I'd really want to see another Poison Ivy film with Poison Ivy in. I think we sort of got done dirty with Batman Robin in a way with Poison Ivy. Like, I feel like there's so much more to that character, especially if you read the comics and you play the Arkham games. The Arkham games got Poison Ivy so right, in my opinion. And then I'd love to see something along the lines with like the Court of Owls.
Yeah, I love that.
The Court of Owls is just fantastic. Like, I think you could do something really dark with that, and I'd hope Matt Reeves would do something with that down the line.
I think if anyone's going to do it, it'll be Matt Reeves. I don't think it'll be the Brave and the Bold.
I think he'd do it justice with Matt Reeves. And you haven't really thought much. I don't know. I'd sort of cast as like Poison Ivy. I mean, Sydney Sweeney will probably be the first one that come to mind for Poison Ivy, maybe.
Nothing wrong with that. Would you include Harley Quinn for that, or would you?
No, because I think it'd take away from it. I think we've seen a lot of Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we had like a really good, like grounded, like origin thing for Poison Ivy, like an origin story, and we showed it on screen, I think it'd be a really good thing to have and go forward. Like you say, Batman Robin did dirty in that film. Like, they didn't do it justice at all, in my opinion. No. But yeah, I mean, I've always thought maybe Aaron Taylor Johnson would make a good Batman down the line at some point.
Thought that too. Yeah.
But yes, like I say, something along the lines of like Court of Owls and Poison Ivy would be a good one to go like going forward. But like going back to what we were saying earlier, I've always wanted to see Willem Dafoe's Joker, and I feel like I've been robbed of that for many years, but it's been right there in front of us, sort of thing.
Oh, I get it. I 100% get it. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I just think he'd play it so well. Like, say, he's got a facial structure. Like, I think the closest we're going to get to it is obviously him in Spider-Man playing Norman Osborn and Green Goblin.
Imagine if you saw the Vulture in Spider-Man come face to face with him as Norman Osborn. That's as close as we'll get. That'd be pretty sick.
But no, I didn't really think much more about like a plot like in depth. I was more sort of like centered on what characters I want to see.
That's okay.
But I'd also want to see a darker version of Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, like, if someone was to ask me, that's who I'd have it as my villain.
Yeah, like I saw a theory a while back that Mads Mikkelsen was going to play Mr. Freeze, and I thought that'd be really good. That'd
be terrific. Yeah.
And then saw something along the lines of, was it GNS, the guy from Breaking Bad? What's his name?
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes, that's the one. Apparently, he was meant to be playing Mr. Freeze at some point as well.
He's been playing Xavier as well on X-Men. People have suggested that he should be cast as Xavier, which I think would be cool, with Denzel Washington as Magneto.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be good. That was a little rumor.
Yeah. But yeah,
weirdly, you mentioned Breaking Bad. I would have cast Walter White from Breaking Bad. I think he'd be fantastic as an older scientist, sort of trying to bring his wife back. I think he'd be so good at that.
Yeah. I do feel like there's so many more characters that we should see on screen. Batman wise, like Mad Hatter would be a really good one to do, like a really dark film on.
Yeah.
I suppose you could do Killer Croc, but then again, it's like
a very different version.
Get Clayface back in there.
Like,
you know, they're doing a Clayface. You know,
Clayface film.
All right.
But let's say it's not Matt Reeves, is it? It's someone else.
No, it's Brave in the Bold universe. It's yeah.
So I'd love to see a darker version of Clayface, and I'd see a Man-Bat film as well. I think it could do something really dark with that. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's just
the Clayface, they're apparently basing that on the Amazon series that was out last year, that's set in like the 1950s. Did you see that, the animated series?
Yeah, I watched bits of that, but I also saw they're basing it on the Feet of Clay episode from animated series.
Yeah, they're squishing it together, and that's the sort of concept.
Yeah. I think it'd be very cool to see. It'd be really good to see how they do it, and if you can pull it off. But I'm worried that it's going to be one of the films where it's going to end up being shit.
Well, I mean, have we? Okay, take it for what it's worth. I don't think Batman and Robin is that bad. I think it's watchable. I don't think it's good, but I also don't think it deserves the hate that it gets. So I'm going to make a bold statement that we've never seen a bad Batman film. Let's not talk about the Justice League. Let's not talk about him being in other films.
Let's not talk about Joker Folio do either. Like that was.
Let's not talk about that. Yeah.
No, I think you're right. I don't think there's been a bad Batman film whatsoever. Like,
not one that hasn't. It's not nothing that's been unwatchable.
No,
absolutely.
No, like
I 100% agree.
Like I agree with you. I don't think it's as bad as people make out. It's probably the worst of a bunch. But when you look at what it's against, and it's just not comparable whatsoever. But like for me, it was good. Like as a kid watching it because you had all these bright colours, these things. What you obviously eventually come out as toys, so you gravitate towards that. It was good for like
target audience. You're the target audience for that film.
It's the target audience for it. It's perfect for what it was. And when you watch it back, you don't take it seriously, no, but like you do find it funny with like Arnie's puns and obviously the back credit card and just random shit.
Do you enjoy your pun, Scott? You know this about me. I do enjoy your pun.
But it wasn't as bad as what you'd make out.
No, I agree. So one sort of final thing about this, which I just want to cap off the Burton era. Did you hear about Batman Unchained / Batman Triumphant? And if so, talk to me about that.
I've only heard briefly about it. I've heard like Scarecrow was meant to be a big thing in that. I don't really know much more on that, so you'll have to fill me on that one.
So it was meant to sort of it was Joel Schumacher's concept to basically dial everything back so it's not as stupid, but also tie in the other films to make it in one narrative. Because as I suggested earlier, and as you said, it did feel like two separate franchises, but they were intended to be one franchise of Batman Returns, Batman and Robin, Batman Forever, opposite way around. So the plot was there was going to be the Scarecrow and a version of Harley Quinn, who was the daughter of the Joker, who were going to team up to punish Bruce Wayne and Batman before they realized they were the same person. They teamed things up, and it was going to be the fear serum, and we were going to basically take an inward look at what makes Batman, and they were also going to have similar to what we saw in the Dark Knight Rises, rather. They were going to have a judge there who was going to do a trial of whether or not he is a good person, and they were going to bring back all the people from previous films, like Nicholson's Joker, like Danny DeVito. They're going to bring them all back and let him stand trial with them as witnesses. So that was the concept of it. But obviously, because Batman and Robin did so badly, it never went anywhere. And these things change. Who knows whether we'd have seen that. It would have been a bit weird for me if I see George Clooney talking to Danny DeVito. It just wouldn't seem
but it might have been good though.
Could have been. As we say, we've never seen a bad one in my opinion.
No, there was a rumor were going around after Batman vs Superman, wasn't it? We were wanting to make a Flashpoint Batman with Jeffrey Dean Morgan and
I'd have loved that.
That would have been good. That would have been really good. Especially Zack Snyder. Like I do like that. I mean, Batman vs Superman is sort of like separates people's opinions on it. Like some people hate it, some people like it. Like I don't mind it. I think it's a bit too long for what it was.
Yeah.
But like I think the universe he sort of created was really cool. Like especially the Ben Affleck Batman. I thought that was really cool what he did with him. Like it made
opening scene was fantastic. I thought the opening scene was one of the best opening scenes I've seen.
I think that came about more because of The Watchmen.
Yeah,
possibly. That was kind of they wanted to capture that sort of feel again, and because it's Frank Miller, wasn't it? So
yeah. I mean,
as we're recording this, by the way, just briefly, we've just passed the 40th anniversary of The Watchmen, so shout out to The Watchmen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I do feel old.
Didn't mean to derail that conversation. I just thought I'd give a shout out to The Watchmen. I do apologise. I love The Watchmen.
Yeah, it's great. Great book.
It is a fantastic book, and if anyone hasn't read a graphic novel before, The Watchmen would be on there. A Long Halloween, Hush, Dark Knight Returns, great DC comics. What was that? The Big Mac? The Max?
Yeah,
sure. Okay. Right. So I'm going to give you a little game before we finish, Scott. So I mentioned right at the start that the comics obviously were responsible for quite a lot, but there were certain things that we'd seen on screen which were later adapted by the comics. So I'm going to give you a couple of Batman staples, and I want you to tell me whether you think they originated in the comics or whether we saw them on screen. And this is going to include all versions of screen, so cartoons, video games, anything like that.
Okay.
So the Batmobile, comic or screen?
Comic.
That was actually from the 1945 serial I mentioned earlier.
Oh man,
I know, right?
That's going way back.
Oh yeah. We're gonna go back. The Batcave.
Batcave. Oh god, I was going to say comic.
I'd have said comic.
Yeah.
The same 1945 serial, but I'm not going to mention the 45 serial anymore.
I'm going to say, if you're all going to be 1945 serial,
then not. I promise you, those are the only two. The grapple gun, and let me just say, I'm not talking about a utility hook. I'm talking about the actual grapple gun itself.
I'm going to say film.
Correct. 1989's Batman.
Yeah.
Commissioner Jim Gordon.
Oh, comic.
Correct. Dr. Harleen Quinzel Harley Quinn.
She was the actual Batman animated series. She was
correct.
Yeah.
So 3 out of 5. That is a passing grade. Well done, Scott Graham Bell. Right, so I think that this pretty much brings us to the end of everything now. Have you got any more questions, Gav?
No.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Scott. Where can we find you on the old socials?
The old socials, I'm at RefSGB93 on both X and Instagram. That's where you can find me.
Fantastic. And I hope people seek you out, but not in a vigilante justice sort of way.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much for joining us. Again, if you want to appear on Talk the Line, Primetime Pastimes, please let us know, and we'll see if we can accommodate you. But as for now, have a good day or good evening, depending on when you watch this.
See you later. Bye.
See you later.